Ilia Topuria may not have fought since June of last year, but every single pay-per-view so far in 2026 has only served to make him an even bigger star. Here's why. The UFC's new broadcasting deal with Paramount has felt slightly underwhelming so far for a number of reasons. We're seeing a lot more ads in place of fighters' walkouts, in place of corner advice. These are all things that really make a bit of a difference when you're watching a fight, but ultimately, the fights that we're seeing on big pay-per-views do not feel that consequential, and Ilia Topuria is a big reason behind that. Now, the first pay-per-view main event of the Paramount era was Justin Gaethje against Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title. Now, obviously, the winner of this fight is going on to fight Ilia Topuria at the White House. Turns out it was Justin Gaethje, but even going into that fight week, nobody felt like either one of these two guys could even pose Ilia a problem, and it feels even more so now. Now, obviously, this was a fun fight. It was quite sloppy, the striking exchanges were fun, but ultimately really lacking in a lot of high-level skill, and a lot of people didn't think the fight needed to happen in the first place. It was a cash grab. They put Paddy in a big main event against a fan favourite like Justin Gaethje. But honestly, going into that fight week, I don't think anyone had a single doubt that Ilia would body both of them, and now it feels even more like that. The second pay-per-view of the Paramount era was of course Volkanovski against Diego Lopes, a fight that we'd already seen before, meaning there wasn't a huge amount of excitement leading up to it. And honestly, Alexander Volkanovski looks so much better than the rest of the featherweight division right now. Now, if we'd seen him against Movsar Evloev or Lerone Murphy, it would have at least had the excitement factor of seeing him fight a new guy. But now he's beaten Diego Lopes twice, and he was fighting for Ilia Topuria's old title that he vacated. This just serves to make Ilia look so much better. Volk is clearly better than the rest of the featherweights. Ilia knocked him out in a round and a half. And that's me speaking as a big Volk fan. I absolutely love Alexander Volkanovski, but you just can't help to think that, Ilia let that title go. And now that Volk's got it, he's a valid champion. He's an all-time great in my opinion. Top 5, top 6 of all time pound for pound. But the fact that Ilia knocked him out cold in a round and a half makes it feel not like a paper championship at all, but in the same way that when Khabib retired and Charles Oliveira took that belt, it didn't feel like he really built up the aura behind it until he had a couple more defenses. And obviously this weekend just gone, we saw Charles Oliveira against Max Holloway for the BMF title. Now, I think the fact that this was a BMF title match and it ended up being about 20 plus minutes of ground control for Oliveira, which is fair enough, he dominated Max, but going into that fight, we were really excited for a stand and bang, like proper brawl, and we didn't get it. Oliveira had about 20 minutes plus of control time, super impressive performance, but I think the fact that we didn't get the super fun fight that we'd almost been promised, and then you add in the caveat that Ilia knocked both of these guys out brutally, kind of takes a bit of allure away from the situation and only serves to boost Ilia's star even more. Now, over the weekend, we saw the White House card fully announced. Ilia Topuria against Justin Gaethje as the main event, Cyril Gane against Alex Pereira for the interim heavyweight championship underneath it, and a few other fun fights. Only 6, which is a bit interesting, but obviously it's a bit of a strange event to begin with. But over the last few days, I've been seeing rumours circling on Twitter, on Instagram, you can't take them for face value, that Islam Makhachev was potentially going to be on that card, and they had to call in Justin Gaethje quite late to replace him. Now, that would have been against Ilia, I presume. And the idea that Islam Makhachev has potentially ducked an Ilia fight, which I don't completely agree with, just serves to add into this guy's aura. It's honestly insane at this point. Now, we don't know if this hypothetical fight between Islam and Ilia would have happened at 170 or 155. But the idea that Islam might have not wanted the fight only serves to boost Ilia's star power even more. So that's 4 separate instances in 1 year. Now, Justin Gaethje said in the build-up to the week, he said that he only got a call very last minute that he was going to be headlining. He'd actually been told earlier in the week that he wasn't. So that does leave a little kind of gap where, maybe they did try and make the Ilia versus Islam fight and maybe he didn't want it. Now, the most impressive thing about all of this is that Ilia is becoming a bigger and bigger star and a scarier and scarier prospect for someone to fight and more interesting person for us all to watch without even fighting. I made a video a while ago about Khamzat Chimaev and how his inactivity is killing his potential stardom. The idea that when you have a boring fight like he did against Dricus du Plessis, you've got to get back in there quickly. Wash the taste out of people's mouths and remind them how good you are. Ilia isn't even having to do that. He's fighting once or twice a year, knocking someone out cold, backing up his talk. He's got the looks, he's got the skills, he's got the trash talk. It's honestly so impressive. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to drop me a sub, follow, like, comment, all of that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.